Astronauts can work effectively and safely in an environment of zero atmosphere. Divers can work equally effectively underwater, where there is no breathable oxygen present. Engineers can work safely in industrial situations, where the risk might arise of toxic gases contaminating the atmosphere, or the oxygen content of the air might reduce below safe levels. In all these cases, the people deal with the problem by taking their own clean air with them in a compressed air breathing apparatus. These people need to do two things to be safe. They must follow all the safety rules and regulations issued to them by their supervisors, and they must know how to wear the gear safely. If your job takes you to places where similar risks might exist, your safety and life must also be protected. Here is a man who has done a good job safely in just such a situation by using compressed air breathing apparatus. How did he learn to work comfortably with BA? What steps did he take before he could do his job safely and well? Let's retrace his steps right from the beginning.
Hello everyone. Do you all know why you're here?
Before he was allowed to work with BA, he attended a professional training session to make sure he knew all about breathing apparatus. Just as important, he had to learn all about the safety checks which test the equipment before use. Why is this so important? Because he may be asked later to trust the equipment with his life. So he must be sure that it is worthy of his trust. If you are asked to trust any equipment, you'll want to know that it's safe. That goes without saying.
But long as you follow the test procedures, which I will tell you later on.
This class is just beginning. Let's see what's happening.
Those points, you'll have no problems. Right. Any questions so far? Good. Right, let's start. There are two popular sets on the market. There's a single stage set and a two-stage set. They're very similar in design, but identical in use. Right. Here we have a back plate. Now this is where a cylinder would sit, and it's fastened on with two straps in this case, but in some cases it could be just one strap. And it's fastened on with an anchor screw, like so. Here we've got the straps. This is the waist strap with a buckle, and you've got the shoulder straps. Then you've got two braided hoses. One goes to your pressure gauge, and the other hose goes to your demand valve regulator. And then here we've got the whistle warning unit, and this is goes into the cylinder, so it's a cylinder valve connector. Right? Now you've got a cylinder which is full of compressed, clean, safe air, stop valve which opens and closes, and we've got the cylinder valve connections. And the full pressure of all cylinders is marked. In this case, it's 200 bars. And here we have a face mask, which is made of rubber. This is where your demand valve regulator goes in. So your clean air goes through there, inside the face mask, there, round the visor inside, through into your inner mask. There. So you breathe in all the clean air through there, and then you exhale it out through a little hole there, which goes into your exhalation valve, which is here. And that's your speech diaphragm. The visor, so you see through there. And you've got the 5 straps, which fits on your face. And the neck strap. Any questions? No? Right, Paul, if you could explain the face mask to us, please.
Right, the air comes in here through this hole, and it goes across the face mask. This is the visor here.
Yeah.
Then it's breathing through these holes,
Right.
and it's breathed out through the exhalation valve here.
Right.
And this is the speech diaphragm here.
Right. Anything else?
The straps at the back, there's 5 straps, adjustable here and here.
Uh-huh.
And you adjust the bottom straps first when you put it on.
That's right. And the center strap is always preset first. Okay, very good. Right, Joe, could you explain us to how the cylinder works?
This is an air cylinder full of good, clean, safe, compressed air.
Right.
This is the stop valve, and this is where the cylinder connector is placed. And you can tell the full content of the cylinder by this number here.
Yeah, the full pressure of all cylinders is marked here.
Right.
As in this case, 200 bars. Very good. We've talked about the single stage set. Now we're going to talk about the 2-stage set. Now it's used in the same basic way, but slightly different in design. And we're going to talk about those differences. Right, we've got the pressure reducing device at the cylinder end, not at the mask end. You've got 2 braided hoses coming here. One's high pressure, which feeds the pressure gauge and the warning whistle unit. And the other hose feeds low pressure into the face mask through a demand valve, which automatically feeds positive pressure into the face mask. So it's done away with the positive pressure switch. So you've got positive pressure all the time. And it's got an extra supplementary button on the demand valve here. Now when you press this, you will get extra air. So you will get more air than you require. And the other differences are, you've got the speech membrane and the exhalation valve.
Let's just pause for a moment and talk about why and in what situations you might need to work with compressed air breathing apparatus. The reason why we need to wear it has already been mentioned. You will need your own breathable air supply when working in a situation where the oxygen level in the atmosphere may drop, or where the atmosphere might become contaminated by toxic vapors, gases, or smoke. What we must emphasize next is what happens before a permit is issued to allow you to wear breathing apparatus for a particular job. First, the atmosphere must be checked and rendered safe. How this may be done depends on the circumstances of each case. Only if this is not possible will a permit be issued which will allow you to enter a dangerous or even potentially dangerous area using a BA. The only exception to this is an emergency. In an emergency, if you're fully trained in wearing a BA, following a special procedure, the usual permit system is suspended. We'll talk more about emergencies later on. Let's get back to the training session to see how you check the BA set for safe working before using it.
Now there are 2 very important tests to be done before you can use this apparatus, right? That's the high pressure test and the low pressure test. First of all, we'll do the high pressure test to check the contents. If it's full, very nearly full, or at least 80% full, right? To do that, on this particular set, the demand valve regulator is set to the test mode position, right? Then we turn the valve on slowly, watching the pressure gauge to see if it's got 80% of the contents, which it does, which is good. Now we're going to check for any unacceptable leaks. We do this by switching the valve off, watching the pressure gauge, see if it drops in excess of 10 atmospheres in a minute. No, it doesn't. So that's very good. So this is quite safe to use. Right. Now we're going to check the set to see if the whistle warning unit sounds. How we do that is by manual operation by the demand valve regulator here. We slowly let out the air, watching the pressure gauge, slowly. Watching the needle, so when it gets to the minimum, about 20%, the whistle warning unit should sound, which it does. Right? Now to recap what we've done 3 little tests. We've checked the contents of this particular cylinder. We've checked for any leaks. and we've checked the whistle warning unit. And that's your high pressure test. Very simple. Any questions? Good. Right, Barry, could you explain to us how you would do the high pressure test?
Yes, the high pressure test consists of 3 checks. First, to check your cylinder contents to make sure it's either full, nearly full, or at least 80% full.
Right.
Second, to check for any unacceptable leaks. And third, to check that your whistle warning unit goes off at the correct setting.
Very good. Right. Before we do the low pressure test, we have to don the apparatus. Now, the easiest way to do that is to lift the cylinder up and rest it on the rubber buffer, like so. There. Then we get the right hand and we grab one of the straps, and then with the left hand, grab the face mask so it doesn't get damaged. Then you put one leg forward, one back, and then we're going to swing the cylinder onto your shoulders. Right. Like so. Then you put the neck strap on, so the face mask doesn't get damaged. Right. Then we pull the shoulder straps down and out. Get the cylinder as high as possible on the shoulders, because you'll find that's the most comfortable position. Then we'll do the waist strap. Now, you don't want the waist strap too tight. You just want it comfortable. Then you tuck away any loose ends. Right, and you should feel comfortable. Well, the reason why we do the low pressure test is to check if this face mask has a good seal. And the way we do that is we put the face mask on, breathe in all the air which is in the face mask, and then the face mask will collapse onto your face. And there's nothing to worry about, because that's what we want. We want to see if there's a vacuum, so we'll know there's no air going out or there's nothing coming in. And also, at the same time, you will have your right hand on the stop valve. So if you want any air, all you have to do is open the valve. Right, now I will demonstrate how to do the low pressure test. We turn the valve fully on. Put the face mask on. The easiest way to do is put your 2 thumbs there, like so. Take the face mask off. Then turn the valve off. Right? Any questions about low pressure test? Now, did you see the face mask collapsing onto my face? But I was in control all the time because I had my right hand on the valve if I needed any air. So there's nothing to worry about. It's very simple. You're in control. Now, do any of you have any questions? No? Well, I've got a question for you. Just say, in case of an emergency, which of the tests would you leave out?
Whistle test?
The whistle test. No, none of them. You mustn't leave out any of the tests. Your life depends on this set, so you've got to do all the tests. So you're confident in the apparatus, yeah? So before you want to go into a dangerous atmosphere, you must do all the tests we've been through. Right, Paul, could you don the apparatus and show how you would do the low pressure test and talk us through it, please?
Right, lift the cylinder up onto the rubber buffer, turn it round, grab this here strap with your right hand and the face mask with your left so it doesn't get damaged. Throw it up onto your shoulder.
Right.
Put your arm in here and then put your neck strap on. Then you get into a comfortable stand and pull down your shoulder straps.
Yeah, one leg forward and one back to get a good balance. That's right.
Right. Then fasten the waist belt. You have to tuck away all the loose ends.
That's right.
And make sure that the demand regulator is in test
Position.
And switch on the cylinder valve. Then I'd put on the mask.
Put my hand on the wheel and breathe down, turn it off and breathe down all the air in the system.
Paul, keep your hand on the wheel all the time.
And stick to my face, and then I can turn back on the cylinder valve. Not breathe normally. If I was going to do a job,
Yes.
I just put it back into positive pressure, and I could go and do my work. If I wasn't going to, I'll leave it in the test mode,
position.
and I can take off the mask.
Right.
Then turn off the cylinder valve again
Yeah.
and bleed all the air out of the system.
Right. Right, very good.
That's the low pressure test.
Hello, Tony.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
All right. Could you tell us about the certificates and the work permits, please?
Certainly.
Regardless of the actual reason for which you need to wear breathing apparatus, you must first apply for a permit, which will allow you to enter a particular area to carry out a particular job.
The agitator drive has been locked off. And
If that purpose requires the wearing of BAs, and you're fit and trained to do so, a permit is issued in which all the conditions and safety measures which you must observe will be laid down. In fact, you will be requested to wear BA. No one must wear a BA without such a request.
the work that you're going to do in the vessel.
All right. Thank you very much. That's very clear. Thank you.
Okay,
See you later.
fine.
Right, this is a typical environment where you may have to wear a BA set, right? So I would like you two to show me how would you go about putting the BA sets on, right? Okay, if you take your hats off, I'll... And if you two could watch them for any mistakes. Okay? Right.
Right, visual check.
Yeah,
harnesses,
visual check first of all. Check the
backplate,
mask,
hoses,
make sure it's all there.
demand regulator,
Some negative.
visor, straps
That's
all
all
in
right.
position,
Hoses are okay. Check that plate. Secure.
cylinder contents.
It's time to issue a word of warning here. BAs are safe and reliable, but their use has limitations. For instance, if for any reason you cannot get an airtight fit with the mask round your face, wearing a beard for instance, you may be losing too much air round the face.
20%.
Or if you work in high temperatures or humidity, carrying out some very heavy work, your rate of using air may go up very sharply.
The low pressure test.
This must be watched very carefully and the pressure gauge read frequently. If the apparatus gets in contact with corrosive material, even salt water, damage may result or the harnesses may get stiff. So the set must be thoroughly cleaned immediately after use. And if you're wearing a BA set and must be lifted or lowered by a harness, this must be an independent one, and lifelines must be attached only to that harness and not to the BAs. There may be other limitations. If you wear glasses, for instance, you may not be able to wear the mask at all. And if you suffer from asthma or from heart problems, you should not be using breathing apparatus. If you're not sure about your health, you must discuss this with your supervisor.
Right, that was very good. Now, did you two notice anything wrong?
No.
Right. Was this comfortable on your back?
Yes, comfortable.
I felt it could have been slightly higher on your shoulders.
No, it was all right.
And was your stop valve fully open, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Right, you two can have a go. Now you two watch them. Right?
Some jobs can take a long time and will require continuous attention. So the capacity of one cylinder of a BA set may not be enough for the duration. In these cases, an airline trolley is made available, which can be connected to the extension pipe on the BA set, and air can be provided directly from the trolley instead of the cylinder, which is now only worn as a backup system. On board ships, the backup system is provided only for allowing the wearer to leave the dangerous area should the airline from the trolley fail for any reason.
Sir, I was about to call you. There's a fire in the engine room. Emergency call, all units, fire gas alarm activated, intermediates warned.
An emergency can arise suddenly, wherever you are.
Control calling, Green Bravo.
As soon as the emergency is realized, the established emergency services must be notified. On board ship, this is the officer of the watch. In place of the normal permit system, an emergency system swings into action. Immediately, someone must assume command as controlling officer and establish a control point in the fresh air as near to the emergency point as possible.
That's all, pressure. 105. Okay, time. 1:45. 18 minutes you've got. Okay, in you go. Both of you.
The first team's cylinder pressures and the estimated time when the whistles may go are noted, so that the relief team may be made ready in good time.
Time for relief, crew. Right? Turn your cylinders on, put your head stops on.
Everyone's air supply is monitored. When the time for the teams to change over approaches, the standby team is asked to get ready.
105 for Teggy. Okay, you've got 18 minutes. Send the other crew out.
Team members must report to the controlling officer as soon as they have left the contaminated area. When the emergency has been dealt with, all the BA sets must be checked, cleaned and replaced in their storage area, ready for use. You may be called upon to use breathing apparatus for operational reasons, or you may need to use it in an emergency. There is no difference in the two situations so far as safety is concerned. The requirements are the same. Knowing your BA set in use, testing it thoroughly before and after use, and using it within its capabilities with complete confidence.